What is up, everybody? Welcome in. It's good to see you. There's Lolita. Hi, Lolita. How are you?
I am here. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's good to see you. We got some folks joining us, coming on in to see who's in the house today. Do me a favor, go in the comments and make sure you switch it to everybody so everybody can see you. Look, we got Jimmy Perrin in the house, John Ruff, Melanie Warren. What's up? Rhonda, Roberto, Tyler, Annie, Ben, Bradley Schnitzer, my man. Good to see you. Charles Polanski. Hey, man. Charlotte, James, Jeff Hicks. I was thinking about Jeff Hicks this morning. It's nothing weird about that. I was just thinking about him.
Can you do something for me, Kevin? And can you switch the chat if you go into the chat settings and make sure that I can actually chat with everyone? Actually, panelists are the only people right now who cannot chat with everyone. So
let me see. Show chat. Oh, and is it in the? You always got to help me find these buttons.
If you go into the chat, so like click the chat icon and then the three little dots at the bottom on the right hand side beside the little emoji symbol.
Yeah, I don't see dots in the actual chat.
In the chat. So if you click on the just click on chat in your toolbar and then open the chat up. And then at the bottom, like right beside where you can type, is going to be three dots on the right hand side.
Oddly, I don't have the panel where I can type.
All right.
My bad. I was looking at people. I got it. You gotta help the okay, panelist and host and panelist.
I should be able to chat with everyone. So it's like panelists can chat with.
Okay, you're good.
Perfecto.
Thank you.
All right.
Perfect. Who does these settings? That's what I want to talk to. All right, I'm gonna start this recording over in a second. And let me hide non-video. All right. What's up, everybody? Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. It's great to have you. This is the Chief Chat, and I'm going to have some of you come on, say hello. So if you're camera ready and want to chat with me, then please raise your hand. I'm happy to talk with you about anything you want to talk about today. I definitely want to get some best things. Do you know how that works? The best thing is where you share your best thing that you learned recently, best thing you came across, best thing you discovered, best thing you implemented. And so what you do is you say, the best thing I learned recently was this. Mention the source it came from, because we always want to give credit to the people who lit us up, and then say why it was relevant to you at this time. And then we close with an if-then statement. So if you're struggling with this, then try this and it'll make life better this way. And what's great about that is this is a little formula you can use anytime you want to put out some quick content. That all important authority content works every time, really simple. And so we practice it here. All right. Cool. So it's good to see everybody. What's on my mind the most today? Hey, Tyler. Cool. That'd be great. Let's talk to someone who's brand new to copywriting. We'll talk to Tyler in a little bit. Here's what's on my mind. I've been at this almost 20 years now. I probably discovered copywriting in around 2003 or 4. I incorporated my business in 2006, which means I was probably freelancing nearly full time in about 2005. So what's that, 18 years? Had the same business all that time, one business. You can look it up. And so I've learned a thing or two. And here's the main thing, man. And whether you're brand new or you've been at this a minute, your business is going to change a lot over time. It may or it might not. Like, you don't need it to change, but it's likely to if you're hungry and you want to accomplish cool things and have some security. Your business will need to change from when you're freelancing, which is where we should all start, I think freelancing teaches you the people skills and the business skills, and teaches you how you work, most importantly, better than anything. And, those are essential lessons in life and in business. And so as you go, things will change in all kinds of ways. You will probably, if you grow your business, you will need to have other people come on and help you. You will, so you'll need to learn to manage people as well as possible. And you will potentially find yourself no longer able to do the thing that you're most known for. Isn't that interesting? So for me, it was copywriting. I had a fabulous career as a freelancer, made all the mistakes early on, wearing all the scars from those mistakes, and now get to teach from them. But then I came to a crossroads in 2016, 2 years after I started Copy Chief, where I had to decide whether I wanted to continue with client work or grow a business teaching. And I couldn't do both because I'd been trying to do both for 2 years and I was burned the frig out. And so I made what was emotionally, spiritually, the easy choice to go all in on teaching and Copy Chief and community building. Financially, not an easy choice. So I was doing pretty well as a freelancer, and the money wasn't quite there yet with Copy Chief. And so here's the thing I guess I want to share is that you will face similar crossroads in your business if you're blessed enough to have some longevity. And nobody has a crystal ball, and there's no easy way to know what to do. And that's when you got to trust your gut. And the more in tune you stay with your gut by making choices along the way, because what a hard choice is all relative to what we're dealing with for where we are when we're there. Make sense? So, if you're, for instance, I coach a lot of freelancers who really struggling to let go of clients that they love, but can't really afford them anymore. To me, that's an easy choice because there's really no downside to that, right? Especially if you can help them find another copywriter or something like that. But I struggle with this. A lot of people really struggle with this emotionally because it brings to mind all these things. So who do I think I am? I know they can't afford my new price, and maybe they can, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you handle it with integrity, all they're going to do is be in favor of your next phase and happy for you, right? And if they're not, then they probably weren't a good person to have in your life anyway. So that is a hard decision when you're in the first few phases of freelancing. And then later you have to make bigger decisions. Again, not bigger, relatively bigger, more consequential decisions about whether to start a whole new thing or whatever. And so the core premise I'm going for here is commitment and knowing your gut and your feelings and being willing to take those chances so that you learn the fallout, your reaction, and you can see sometimes you regret a decision. It's possible you can regret the decision, but you'll probably be thankful for the lesson. Other times, and what happens more often, is you trust your gut, you make a decision, and you see what a moment it was of opportunity, and how doors close, windows open, all these things. Seen that so many times with freelancers that I've worked with and coached. Melanie Warren can tell you amazing stories about that. Jimmy Parent can tell you amazing stories about that. I'm sure Lolita can. And so have clarity, be committed, and decide as fast as possible on these kinds of decisions. Because if you don't develop the muscle of being committed and making decisions and learning from the results, then you risk staying stagnant, right? And stagnation is death, truly is. Anything in life, momentum is everything, right? You have to be creating momentum towards something at all times, not in huge ways, not in major strides, but incrementally, steadily, purposefully making gains towards your goals. Your goals may change, your ideas may change, your reality may expand, and you may switch directions. That's okay. But if you're not moving in a direction to begin with, none of those things can happen because you haven't progressed towards any greater idea, right? So be committed, be decisive, and be courageous when it comes to making decisions. All right, there you go. There's your little spontaneous Papa Kev rant. I want to show you something cool. I've been working really hard on a sales letter for the last 2.5 weeks. I haven't really written a sales letter from beginning to end by myself. I'll get to that in a minute because nobody writes alone for a while now, because another thing that changes, and like I said, you may no longer be able to have time to do the thing that you are known for, dancing with the thing that brought you. And for me, it was copywriting, because I'm sort of so busy being the CEO and running this business that there's not enough space in my head and on my calendar for me to sit and write a real sales letter. And we already had good copy, solid assets that we could tweak and update and those things. But you know what happens? Iteration can lead to desecration. There we go. Preach it now. Iteration can lead to, let's say, decay. That sounds even better. Iteration leads to decay. There's a tweetable. Because you tweak this part and you move a headline and you add some benefits or update some bullets, but the whole piece is now becoming a little Frankenstein. It's not. And so every once in a while, you gotta hit Command A, delete, and start fresh. And so that's what I've been doing for the Copy Chief big anniversary special that we're doing. Starts on the 21st. It's going through the 28th. I am turning 53 on I don't know what day it is, on the 23rd. What is that? Wednesday? Thursday next week? Thursday. Man, I love being this age. I got to tell you what. It's funny. I won't pontificate too much on this, but as you reach your 50s, what I find is there's very little drama anymore in life. Things happen, right, and come upon you. Dramatic instances occur in your life. But what I find personally is that at this age and at this point in life, not many things shake me, because you can see around the corner and you know how it's going to end up. And if you have some resources, it's not an emergency. You're okay. If you have people and you have maybe a little capital to cover whatever comes up, okay, just go through the motions of dealing with it and getting it fixed, right? And so, yeah, and drama, Lolita, you just don't put up with anymore. Exactly. Having drama in your life is very much a choice. reacting to drama, repeating drama. Man, I see people on social media posting all the time, like some laborious, word vomit of some instance, this customer support, it was on hold for 25 minutes. Yeah, no shit. We all do that. It's frustrating. We get it. It's just, so now you're going to come and this is what you have to share today. And what's everybody supposed to do? Oh yeah, that sucks. So what are you doing? You're just attracting more negativity and more people. And unless you can make it like really funny or, the point is, how are you going to use that experience and how are you going to let it come out of you? Humor comes from pain. So if you're creative, take something that you wish hadn't happened and make it useful by making it amusing or share a lesson. Don't just bitch. God dang. Anyway, so drama is a choice. And when you choose not to have drama in your life, you choose to be surrounded by people who also don't like drama, don't want drama. I'm not criticizing people who need to vent once in a while, but I'm just telling you, there's a certain level of consciousness about that. I often talk to people. Just this week, I had a call with someone who's experiencing a lot of trauma, work trauma and personal trauma. And we were on the phone for 15 minutes, maybe. And she was calm, collected, emotional, but just wanted to, hear herself talk through and get some input from me on what the options were about what to do about it. This is not a person who's going to wallow in drama. She took action. It was solved, at least the work part, by the end of the day, and gives her mental space to deal with any personal stuff she's got to deal with. And anyway, that's it's a choice. Okay. So commitment, I'm working on this. And so I had this cool idea because I'm feeling all full of wisdom. As you can see, nothing but wisdom to share. And so I wanted to do something really cool because check it out. I'm 53 next week. My birthday's on the 23rd, and this is 2023. Are your astrological senses just like on fire right now? How could that even happen? And so I thought it was significant and wanted to do something cool. And also, let's be honest, this is a weird time to be a copywriter. There's a lot of stuff going on that frankly is dramatic to a point that I have really not seen before in my 20 years in this business. I saw a lot of things come along and I saw a lot of hype around them. And I saw a lot of overnight baby guru experts offering, for you to buy all the answers off of them and all those things. That's a pattern that's never not been there. But this AI business, this is a big one, and this one's here to stay. And I'm not going to sit here and say, everybody is dead if they don't embrace it. If you're already a good writer and you have your systems and your processes, can you make it? And you have an established audience and you have established products. Can you make it without AI? Sure. But we see how this is going. It's only going to become more prevalent. And to not use it at some point is going to be a detriment. All right. It doesn't mean that you have to be all in on it. Doesn't mean that you have to completely redo the way you do things. But much better to get ahead of it now and get an understanding of it now than to hope it isn't a factor, than to, wait and see. Because It's cool. It's really freaking cool. You know you see what's behind me here? There's a reason these things are behind me. I'm trying to adjust my camera so I can show you better. It's Lightning Hopkins, who is one of the pioneering bluesmen. And so, we could say that Lightning Hopkins is right, pioneer of rock and roll and modern music. And then there's a robot. And to be honest with you, I didn't put those there originally with this purpose, but I love that they're there next to each other, because what it symbolizes to me is that these are the two things that matter always, especially in our industry. So we have the foundations, the core of what makes things, at least that I enjoy very much, possible. The pioneers, the musical, people who were so good at their craft back when there were very few resources around how to get good at it, just purely dug it out from, like little Lightning Hopkins didn't go to guitar lessons every Tuesday at 6 p.m. over there in the Mississippi Delta. He, whatever he did, there it was. And then we get to, in every future guitarist gets something from what he did, what he created. And then we have the technological evolution. And this robot is now able to completely understand and recreate things that Lightning Hopkins did on his guitar and with his voice and with his words. But it ain't the same. It'll never be the same. It can make it more accessible. It can help you understand how to recognize it and use parts of it in your music, but it can't create it. It can't, you know what I'm saying? But you need them both. You need them both. And so, back when the Rolling Stones were learning how to play their instruments, and the Beatles and everybody in the 60s, the British revolution, invasion, those guys were all listening to the blues and R&B. And they would sit there and drop a needle on a record and listen and play chords and notes until they found what they heard on the record. And that's how they got good. And that's why they stayed so good. Because you see, why are the Rolling Stones still touring in their 80s? In their 80s, 60 years of the Rolling Stones, 60 years. You're lucky to get 6 months as an artist anymore. 60 years, because they were that close to the foundation. And then they took it somewhere else and it exploded into all this amazing creativity and craftsmanship. And but do you think they don't use Pro Tools when they record now? Do you think they don't get the best possible sound out of their foundational juice with using all the technology that they could? The Rolling Stones invented arena touring. The Beatles, the reason the Beatles stopped touring was because, I'm sure there are personal reasons, but practically it couldn't happen. You've seen the footage probably of them at, what was it, Shea Stadium? Total bedlam. There's these guys with club equipment, little ass speakers, and 60,000 people plus screaming, shouting. Nobody could hear anything. And they're like, this isn't music. What are we doing? We're be lucky to get out of here with our lives. This is stupid. Well, this can't happen anymore. And they stopped. The Stones had that same experience, but Mick Jagger, being an innovator and a visionary, said, all right, how can we get louder than the crowd? How can we not look so tiny on stage? What can we build with the current technology that would make us putting on an incredible Broadway style theater production and move that into a stadium and make it feel intimate for 60,000 people when we perform. And that's what they went to work doing. And they were the first to come out and put on that kind of show. And that's why they've been around 60 years, committed to their beliefs, their vision, clear about what they wanted, and decisive in going to get it done. All right. That was pretty, actually kind of came full circle. All right, let's talk to you. Oh, by the way, so anyway, I did lose one thing in there. This Chief Chit. And so this is, I had this made. It's real metal. Isn't it cool? It's got the logo on one side and it's a chit. You guys know what a chit is? Anybody know what a chit is? I had never heard that word in my life until more than a decade ago. John Carlton offered me a chit. I had done, so a chit is a credit that I think it started with casinos, where if you were owed some house money, you could take it in a chit and like maybe they add a little value to it and you could gamble with it instead of just taking your cash and walking out, which they never want you to do. And so Carlton said, back in the day, Carlton had, he still has it, the Marketing Rebel group. Stan runs it now. And it was $69 a month to be in that group. And that was a lot of money to me back then. It was a hard choice to plunk down that money. It sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth, but it was. And I got in there and I thought, oh my God, I'm in a room digitally with John Carlton. This is incredible. And my number one goal was to get on John's radar, get his attention, and he was my hero, still is my copywriting hero. And so he would do a critique. Get this, John Carlton for $69 a month would do a critique, a copy critique every week in that group. And man, I learned a ton watching those. And then so John was going to be out of town for a week, and he said, hey, why don't one of you young hotshot copywriters take over the critique this week while I'm out? And I couldn't raise my hand fast enough. And so I volunteered to do the critique. John said, all right, this guy Kevin's going to do the critique. And I thought, oh man, here's my chance. I am going to critique copy, and John Carlton is going to watch my critique of the copy, because he would have to make sure I'm not saying crazy shit and like completely off base, right? And so let me tell you something. This is back when like screencast was still new. I don't even remember what the ad was about, but I remember I recorded that video critiquing that copy like 4 times. I was like, wanted to make sure it was like everything I knew, and it was, I just obviously wanted it to be great performance. So I did it. John comes back to town. The person I did it for appreciated it, which of course makes you feel good. Solidify. Critiques are so important, everybody. You got to be doing critiques, even if you just do them for yourself. But don't just like read and have thoughts. Like break down what you're seeing. Take notes. That's way more important than hand copying sales letters. All right. If you want to hand copy sales letters, that's fine if that works for you. What matters is what you see and what you understand. That's what sticks. That's what makes it into how you write copy, not copying other people's words like a damn robot. Okay. So I did that. And then John wrote to me. He DM'd me in the group, and he said something to the effect of, hey man, that was a really good critique. I appreciate you having my back. He said, you have a chit with me. And that means, whenever you want my eyes on some copy or need some advice, you can cash it in. And I was like, oh my Lord. took me about 9 seconds to reply and say, yeah, I'd like to cash that in right now, please. Could you look at some, I just wanted him to look at some stuff I've been writing, because I was it was a couple years in and I was having success, but I had total imposter syndrome. I'm like, what if I've just been getting lucky? What if I don't know what the hell I'm doing? Yeah, what if this is, that feeling like when you're doing pretty good and you're just sure that somebody's going to come along and put a straitjacket on you and lead you back to the home. That's how I was feeling then. And so I cashed in that shit with John, and he looked at some of my stuff and he got back to me and he said, hey man, he gave me some quick little notes, this and that. He said, but man, overall, this is really good stuff. I can tell you've got the goods, were the words he said that I'll never forget. And my copywriting hero just told me I wasn't crazy. There was a reason my stuff was working. And he recognized that I was doing what I should be doing. And let me tell you, nothing was the same after that. That was the confidence I needed to march forward with commitment and clarity and decisiveness. And so with this special, I said, I'm gonna make a chit, because now here I am all these years. That was 15 years ago that happened with John. Here I am in a position, I think, not to be maybe anybody's copywriting hero, but to really be able to help people, because this is what I do every day when I coach copywriters, and really, really help them advance their career. And so I said, well, I'm going to create chits, and I'm going to give 23, there's that number, 23 chits to people who I think can make the most of them if they join Copy Chief for a year. And that's what I did. So I made up these chits. And so the way it's going to work is I'm running a special. You guys are already in Copy Chief, so it doesn't really apply to you, but please tell your friends. The special is they get $500 off a year of Copy Chief, and they get to qualify to win this chit with me. What they do is they just introduce themselves on the form. They say, they tell me their goal, and they tell me the one thing, the biggest challenge they have in meeting that goal. And Lolita and I are going to go through and look at them all, and we're going to choose 23 people who will have a chit that they can use anytime this year with me. And then I'll block off time in my calendar, and the chit is a calendar link, and you go cash it in when you need it, and you get the next spot available. Does that sound pretty cool? Is that interesting? Because that's what I did, and that's what's happening next week. And so I'm excited about it, and that's what I wrote the sales letter around. And you guys want to see something cool? Have you seen Verbatim yet? It's Justin Blackman. Justin's not here, is he? No. Oh, you are. Justin's here. Justin, I think we did this. Did we do this last Chief Chat? I'm still using Verbatim. And so I want to show you, I think the thing about, so here's what Verbatim is. It's imagine Hemingway app if it understood voice, tone, cadence, all the things that are really important in copy beyond just grade level and passive sentences and things like that. It's everything that Justin teaches about having strong voice and copy. And like Hemingway, can immediately assess and help you tweak how you're coming across. It's incredible tool. Justin, are we okay to give the beta? Okay, well, go ahead and pop it in, Justin, so this isn't beta, guys. This is free right now, and Justin's wanting people to use it and give feedback. So go play with this thing. So let me show you how it works. Let me just share screen. And what was really cool was, I think we looked at this on the last thing, and I don't know if there were some tweaks still being made or whatever, but the grade reading level was like 23, or what was it, Justin, right? 21 or something. And it was like, oh, wow, well, that's definitely not what I meant to do. And so it seems pretty dialed in right now. This is the final sales letter pasted on the left here. And we're at an under 6th grade reading level, which is definitely more more where I'm coming from at all times. We got very, uses of passive. And what's cool is I could say passive voice, usually not good. So I can go through and go, well, where was unleashed? Okay, that works in that sentence. So I'm okay with that. You can check, was I unknowingly being passive, or does it work the way I used it, right? 10 phrases could be simplified. Okay. Is it okay if they're not? It is. 49 of 584 sentences are hard to read. Okay. Well, one thing I noticed with any of these tools is it doesn't always understand the way we write copy. Like we break up sentences and we're trusting the reader to jump from one sentence for the other. So a sentence on its own could kind of not make a ton of sense, but you're trusting the rhythm and the cadence of what you wrote to have it not only make sense, but have punch. And then 16 of 584 sentences. Now this was higher, and I did go back and say, okay, maybe this should be 2 sentences, or, and so I got that way down. So again, Hemingway can kind of do this, but check this out. Now we see tone. Oh my God, it's up to 100 now. Last week I put in, I only had, or last month, if I did this, it was the lead only I had, and it was like 90% negative. And this is, there's a lot of urgency in the sales letter. And so in the beginning, I am like being pretty direct and serious. And so that made sense. But now look at 100% positive. Well, my goodness. I'm like, damn, that's maybe why I'm not one of the world's greatest copywriters, because I'm just a little too nice. 100% positive. Get a little fear in there, Rogers. Jesus. But I'm okay with that because I'm a positive person and I want people to feel really damn good when they see this offer. And vocabulary, this is one where, look, these are almost balanced. Now, the basic rule is, oh, no, you got to have a lot more you than me, probably 90% you. It's not accurate, especially depending on how you're positioning and how you're positioned to the audience. I'm writing to people who hopefully know something about me, hopefully have a little trust and experience with me delivering some value to them. Otherwise, they're probably not going to want what I'm selling anyway. And so for me to have a couple more, telling them about my experience and some stories and some using proof, I'm okay with that. Cadence, again, just lets you assess how it's flowing, which is like critically important. So, man, Justin, like this tool just keeps getting better, and everybody go and use it and play with it. And I would say this, and I mean this with any tool, like don't write in the tool. And as it says right here in Justin's tool, you can paste original content here. It doesn't say write it in the tool, because you cannot have 3 different instructors standing over your shoulder while you write going, the cadence teacher's telling you, I don't know. It's like, just write and then go. Writing is rewriting. And this is what this tool does like no other. Okay. Let's meet you. It's enough about me, but I will say this. This is the most amazing offer I've ever made on Copy Chief membership. I truly want to help you directly. I'm not kidding. I'm a little pissed off and annoyed at all the immediate hype around AI. And my goodness, everybody's now got a course. There's a live event all about AI, and it's being sold with the harshest, most fear-based bullshit content. Oh my God. As if going to a 3-day event is going to get you everything you need to know about all the overwhelming tech that's coming our way. It's, you know, I'm not saying you won't get value. It's just like, why do you have to sell it? Like, you literally should lay down and die if you don't come to. It's annoying. And so I want to just help you. It's going to take us a year, guys. We got to be together all year to figure out what we're up against and what to do about it. We're all going to be learning in real time together as this stuff unfolds. Chat GPT, GPT-3 are here now. How do we use it? How do we use it better? How do we teach each other prompts? And you know what, how do we take the best of what we know and implement it so we learn it, so we own it, it doesn't own us. And then a month later, you know, when 6 other douchebags come out with their advanced thing, we go, no, here's reality. We're already there. We've been doing this. We're here. We just know that we're going to have, then GTP4 is going to come out either in the spring or the fall, and that's going to change things again. And then there'll be, you know, now it's an industry, now it's a niche. And then, so you not only got the same people who are out hyping it up and trying to cash in on it right now, but then you got everybody who took their courses doing it's just going to get ridiculous. And so choose your tribe right now. Choose your tribe. Who do you trust? Who do you want to be around? Where can you get an ongoing education and practical use about how to use AI all year long while this shit unfolds? Not having to be filled with fear and pitch some bullshit. And you can't even make time to take all those courses. All right. Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. I try. I do have a headline in this ad that is really direct but it's not hype. But you know, I even played with some positive headlines, and I'm like, no, this needs to be said because the stakes really are high. Like, people will be left behind, not overnight, but eventually. And we're just going to be. Somebody told me a great line about, it was from a different industry. It was about lawyers, but I couldn't help but use it as a subhead in this letter. AI will not replace copywriters. Copywriters using AI will replace copywriters. I thought, man, that rings true. That is really exactly what's happening. And so it's a good summary of what I'm out to help people do. Be a copywriter who uses AI so you don't get replaced. All right. Let me talk to Tyler. You're brand new to this. And I want to hear what's on your mind, man. Tell me your story. How do I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna find Tyler, Richie, and I'm gonna say promote to panelist. Ron, what's up, man? I haven't seen Ron Kroc in a minute. Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Keith Trimmels. Yeah, I can hear you. Now I can see you. What's up,
Tyler? Nothing much, man. Well, I got started in this maybe like 2 months ago. I haven't made too many strides. I was working a normal job, you know, same thing. Everybody gets into copyright and have a normal job to hear about it. And I came into this thing, man. And as soon as I got into it, you know, shit about AI, people were going crazy about outreach. And it's like this big, fat fucking dumpster fire of people trying to get into copyright. They're just going crazy about shit. They're like, oh, I want to, how do you send out the greatest outreach? How do you do this? How do you do this? Can we do this? I'm like, what the hell? So I kind of took a step back, and then I found a dude named Chris Wozakowski, who I think he's a part of Copy Chief, if I'm not mistaken.
I subscribed to him for years. Yeah, he's a partner of mine. Yep.
Yeah, man, a great dude. And I learned a lot from him just on YouTube from a whole bunch of different people. And now I'm realizing that there's a whole lot of hype for practically no reason. And so now I'm trying to find who I can learn from. I guess you're one of them. And so I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you, brother. Hey, just will you turn your speaker down a little bit? Because I'm getting bounced back on my voice. Thanks, man. Yeah, dude. Wow. I can't even imagine what that's like to walk into an industry. And like you said, a dumpster fire is burning. I mean, most people would turn and go the other way from the smell alone.
I know there's a lot to I'm pretty good at writing, and I've always been a decent writer. So I like it. Like I enjoy what's going on, but at the
Okay.
same time, I get some other people.
Yeah. So here's what you got to do, man. Like I was saying a minute ago, you just got to choose some people and cut out the noise. Okay. Real quick story, man. Like, you know, I was saying, John Carlton's my guy, is my hero. Even when I was starting, right around 2006, 7, when I was in the groove, I would get overwhelmed. And there was only like 2 blogs on the topic. Clayton Makepeace had a blog, and I'd be in the middle of a sales letter and I'd read something they posted and I'd be like, shit, I got to start this over, because now if I don't incorporate that, I'm like, you know what I mean? And so I made a decision then. I'm like, I'm unplugging from everything. I'm unsubscribing, and I'm going to find everything I can that John's ever taught. And there was only like some YouTube videos and things. But that's what led me into his world. And I cannot. And so it's insane how saturated it is now. So listen to this, man. Chris is a good dude. He's always going to shoot you straight. He's very much a part of Copy Chief. And honestly, man, like this is what this whole sales that I've been writing is all about. It's just like, man, it's hard because I don't know if you know your Colby score. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You should do it. It's like a $50 test. It basically shows you, it's a personality test, but it's the best one, because you can take it when you're 18 or 58 and you get the same score. It's just who you are. And one of the things is fact finder. A lot of copywriters are really high in the fact finder, and we want to know things, and so it's easy to pinball around and try to learn everything. It's just, as you're seeing already, impossible to do, and will lead you eventually nowhere except to confusion. So, not to pitch you like directly, but come with us, man. Come into Copy Chief.
I'm thinking about it for sure, for damn sure. Because I'm like, I see Chris and some other people and you, and I'm like, man, these guys they're on top of it for sure.
Yeah, dude. And here's 2 things I'm doing about it, because I don't pretend to be an expert, but what I've been able to build in my business is an amazing Rolodex of people that I've known for a long time. Sam Woods, to me, is the best guy teaching this stuff right now. He and I did a bonus for his workshop. He was the first one out with a workshop, and I think it's the best one, at least that I've seen, because he's teaching you. He's been doing this since 2019 with AI. He's been ringing this bell for years, and everybody's like, okay, whatever, you're robots. And now everybody's like, oh shit, Sam, what do you know? And so anyway, I'm having people like that in the group. Sam in the thread, right? Interviewing. I want to interview Paris Lampropoulos. Say, Paris, are you using AI yet? What are you doing with it? David Deutsch, the legends, people who have been writing copy, who know what needs to go into copy. How is AI making their life better, if at all? Just to have perspective. If we can get one little nugget from every person who really knows how to write copy about how to write it better with that robot, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. And then we get to filter out what's bullshit, what's hype, what's real, from people who are inside the tech industry, who get it, who know, right? And so that's what I'm doing about it. And here's the other thing I'll say, beyond all that hype and all that, dude, pick a money skill and get good at that first. So in the 2 months you've been hanging around, what do you like to write the most?
Shit, I'm not sure. You mean like the niche? Like what kind of niche?
Yeah, just even long form sales letters, emails, web,
definitely like emails. And I've been looking at advertorials for sure. So those 2
okay,
things.
good. Yeah. So there you go. Those are 2 of the money skills. We have these trainings for money skills. And the reason we call them money skills is because they're the things that are always in demand and that you can get started with, right? And so long form sales copy isn't one of the money skills, although it's the ultimate money skill. But if you try to learn that first of all, it takes you 3 months to write one, takes you another 3 months to have somebody actually like critique it thoroughly. And that's going to cost you probably thousands of dollars. And so now a year's gone by and you maybe have like one sales letter that you feel like you had control of a little bit. Whereas the advertorials, you could write 2 or 3 a week, get them critiqued in minutes, And you're basically learning the same fundamental things that are going to make you a great copywriter as you grow and expand your skill set, right? And so, folk, even if you don't do anything with me, cut out the noise, put your head down and write. Writers write. Writers don't read all the time, do nothing but read. We write.
Yeah.
So find out who you are as a writer. You like to write. What makes you good at it? Read things outside of copy that inspire you, novels, journalism, and say, put it through, take an article that you read that really strikes you and pop it in a verbatim here and see, oh, interesting. What are their stats? You know what I mean? So that's the key, man. Focus your energy and look, last quick thing before you worry about clients, just get your portfolio together. Learn how to go pro before you're called on to be a pro. Okay?
I've heard that. I'm working on that. I'm working on doing like spec work and whatnot, and just writing for random. I'll find like a nice company, write up some emails for it, and get to work like that.
Perfect. Yeah. Just be asking, how would Tyler Richie do this if he were hired to do it? And how long did it take him? And what demons were in his head fighting him when he tried? And get to know those things so that you don't get blindsided by them when somebody pays you money to do it.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me, brother.
My pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. It was like meeting young blood, man. You're the future. All right, I'll see you around, brother. Cool. That was fun. Isn't that great? Okay. Let's who's got, oh man, wow, I really ranted today. I always like this to be more interactive. I hope it was useful. There's a lot going on, man. I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to share. Who can do some best things for me? Just share one thing that you found inspiring, something you read, something you saw, a movie. Greg, awesome. Can I get Jeff Hicks to do one? I like Jeff Hicks. I just get happy when I see Jeff Hicks staring back at me on a Zoom call. All right, let's go with Greg.
All right, Kev, am I on?
Yes, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I got to say my best thing this week has been thinking about networking, right? And you hear about it all the time and everyone just talks about how important it is, but it's kind of a nebulous topic, right? You're like, yeah, networking, that sounds cool, but what does that actually mean, right? So, and I got to give a little disclaimer. I didn't come on here. You guys didn't ask me to come on here to plug any of your programs or anything like that.
Yeah, I never do.
But the reason, so everyone's clear on that. I'm speaking from the heart at this point. And the reason I've been thinking about networking so much is something that Rachel Mazza had mentioned in one of the escape velocity trainings. Highly recommend it. If somebody like Tyler, who's trying to get their bearings and get going, if you can swing the cash, man, do it. But anyway, she has a story that we all know about our analogy, I guess, about trying to date and then just walking up to a rando in a coffee shop and saying, hey, you want to get married? And it's like, whoa, let's back up. That's not how things work, right?
Right.
And I feel like that's a great analogy for like the networking and sales relationship. Like sales is super important. Like that's how you get new business. That's how you make money. But that's not how you start. You got to start with networking, right? Just get your foot in the door, get to know people, like genuinely want to learn about their story and who they are. And they'll reciprocate and want to learn about your deal too.
Right.
And so anyway, I've been trying to break into the RV niche, like we've been talking about, right? RV life and that kind of stuff. And I've been reaching out to folks who work in the space just to chit chat, to get them know them a little better, not really trying to sell, just trying to say, hey, tell me about what you're doing and just kind of understand. So anyway, I found a lady who does coaching kind of like what you do for people who are trying to start RV-based businesses, right? They live in their RV, they live on the road, and they want to make money from the road, and they don't know how to do it, right? Yeah. There's a lot of ways to go about doing it, but she teaches them how to create an offer that they can sell to other RVers, right? And how they can make money doing that. And so She's been doing it for like 10 years too. She's got training, she got a form, she's got a very similar setup to copy.
Wow, very cool.
And so I got to talk to her and we kind of chatted a little bit. And the people I've been talking to are people who need to work with her, right? Because a lot of them don't understand the offer, how to build a business, how any of that works.
Right.
And then once they're done with her, or once they're kind of like established, then they can come work with me and we can talk about email marketing and how to really kind of like power it up to the next level, right? And so it was just kind of a serendipitous thing where I wasn't trying to sell anybody. I wasn't trying to, get any business. I was just trying to learn from people, try to understand what they're doing. And we've partnered. She made me an affiliate, so I get a little bit of a cut for anybody I can refer to her program. And I'll probably be enrolling in her community too. So,
yeah,
I mean, I'll be in there networking with people who are my target avatar, right? And I'm not going in there to sell and pitch everybody on day one.
In there to learn R&D.
I'm just going in there to learn, seeing what problems they're dealing with, pitching in where I can, and then hopefully build relationships out of that, right? So
perfect.
To kind of break it down, your if-then statement, right? If you're trying to break into a niche or a vertical or an industry, just network, get to know people, like genuinely try to get to know people with no ulterior motives and make those connections.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Greg.
Sure.
It's really great. Great one. Okay. Check it out real quick. I want to just add on because I had another thing happen in the last 2 weeks that goes exactly with what Greg's talking about. Here's the thing about copywriting being a superpower. Because yes, not a lot of people know what the heck it is. It ain't going to get you famous at the neighborhood barbecue. We know that. But people who know what copywriting is and how hard it is to find a good copywriter. And so when they find you and you have a deep interest in their niche, it's like a golden ticket. Greg reaches out. He's talking to this woman. She's been doing this for 10 years. How great is it for her to now know a copywriter who shares her passion, who understands marketing, who, and like he said, he can now go into her group and be the copy hero, blow minds with simple little things, add a benefit to your headline. Oh my God, I never thought of that. You see, and now and that's when motivation becomes revenue. When you it's everything we've been saying, focus, momentum, go that way. One of my other students, I won't say who it is because I don't have her permission to talk about her business, but she is a copywriter, gainfully employed, and she is interested in the martial arts marketing niche. She's very passionate about marketing martial arts, wants to help business owners. She goes to these gyms and they have no idea about marketing and it's horrible. And she's like, God, I could totally flip this around for you. So she joined a group, very much like Greg's saying, and they're just going, oh my God, we can't believe you're here. Like we've been, we need, they've been giving out like copy templates and things like that to their students. And nobody ever wants to, muscle guys don't want to usually sit and write words. So she's immediately went from, I wonder if there's a way I could, monetize my passion for writing copy around this market, to having an established group of people who already teach it, put her on a throne and say, everybody, you got to meet this person. It can happen that fast. And that's why, again, commitment, decisiveness, momentum. All right. Very cool. Awesome, Greg. All right, Jeff, take us home, brother. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes, you did. I think I clicked all the buttons. Howdy, Kev. Welcome from Gulfport in wonderful paradise, Pinellas County.
Great to see you, buddy.
I got a huge imposter syndrome. And one way that I found for myself to be able to get by it is if the person has asked for something, I got no problem. If I know they need something,
Mm.
I'm there. So I took Daniel Throstle's information. He said, you know, I have tried a couple of local businesses. One of them, it didn't go so well. One actually was a success, but that did not solve my imposter syndrome. So I said, okay, I'll take the Upwork approach. Those people have a need. They have stated it. They've told Upwork, hey, I'm going to pay money. So I said, okay, but man, those profiles just look so daunting. Daniel said, hey, just have an okay one. Okay, that gave me permission.
Right.
I found a YouTube video, 15 minutes, of some guy in the pitch deck niche. And he walked through his profile and why he did what he did. I said, well, shit, that's a perfect framework. I can fit my stuff in there. And I just got it up yesterday. So if you have imposter syndrome and need somebody to tell you it's okay to pitch them, go find that YouTube video, put in Upwork profile. It comes up right up. The guy did a great job. He actually shows what he did. You can screenshot it and go in and just plug your bullets in and put it up on Upwork, see that there's 4,000 writing jobs up there right now. I'm sure at least one of them I'll be able to write a good proposal for, write what he describes as close but not exact.
Right. Sample. Yeah.
A sample. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
I love it, Jeff. Good one. Thank you, brother. Really great.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. So for a little more context, Daniel Throstle and I did a special bonus training. Daniel was kind enough to come on and share something from his Upwork in an Hour course. It was all about proposals. And Daniel pointed out in his Daniel Throstle way that the way he said it was, on Upwork, copywriters forget that they're copywriters and they become complete idiots. And what he meant by that was, what they do is when they go to propose themselves, they're not interesting. They don't write copy. They don't stand out. They don't do the things we do as copywriters to be different. Instead, they cut and paste and they sound like everybody else and they're just ignorable. Why would you're just now in the barrel of, and so that's what Jeff's saying is, and I love what just like be interesting and be inventive and be surprising. What Jeff added on to that was, I love this, Jeff, when you have imposter syndrome, it's because you're afraid you're making up a reason for people to give you money. Or like I said, back in the day for me, am I just getting lucky? Am I trying to get lucky? And you want to know that, but if a stranger sits down next to you on a park bench and tells you they're struggling to grow their business, you can give them an hour's worth of advice and blow their mind. Now, why is that? What's the problem? You just need permission to know that people actually need what you're selling, and then stop thinking about how to sell it and how to gift it and come across that way. And then naturally there's a charge, but it changes the mindset. It changes your twitchiness about how you present it, right? That's, I think, what Jeff's saying, and it's brilliant. It goes back to what Greg was saying. Great theme there on the best things. Be useful. Take this knowledge. Look, we're going to have it. This isn't like, it's not limited. It's not a bag of pixie dust that if I give you a splish of pixie dust, then surely I'll run out one day, and then what would I be then? I won't have any. That ain't how it works. The more you give, the bigger your bag grows. Give it life, get feedback, grow it. It's not dust, it's seeds that will grow. You got to water them. All right, let's end on that. I really appreciate your time. And it was fantastic hanging out with you. Thanks for everybody who contributed. And I will see you next month on another Chief Chat. Thanks, everybody. Bye.